Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. Do me a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. Chilling new details in the crime out of Moscow, Idaho, for which Bryan Kohberger is charged, have just come out. Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Madison Mogan were all back at their shared home at 1122 King Road by 2 a.m. after spending the night out at various bars. The four young women then gathered in Kaylee Gonsalves' bedroom and talked for a while before going to bed. Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin were not home yet. The four girls debated going out to a food truck for a late-night snack, but ultimately decided to go to bed. At around 4 a.m., Dylan heard strange noises in the home, followed by a man's voice that was not Ethan's. The man said something akin to, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." When she looked around her bedroom door, she saw a tall, masked man dressed in black walking out the door. Following that, she called and texted her roommates, but only Bethany answered. The others were already deceased. Between 4:22 and 4:26 a.m., Dylan and Bethany exchanged text messages trying to figure out what was happening. Dylan eventually ran down to Bethany's room. When Dylan exited her bedroom, she noticed Xana lying on the floor with her head toward the wall of her bedroom and her feet toward the door. Dylan thought that Xana was drunk. Once Dylan was in Bethany's room, they locked the door and tried to call their roommates. Over the next 8 hours, Dylan made several more texts and calls to her roommates, while also creating, editing, and deleting images and videos, visiting Instagram and Snapchat. On Snapchat, she used the Snapchat function to check Ethan's and Xana's location. Without any responses, at around 11:50 a.m., Dylan called a friend and asked her to come over and check the house because she was scared. The friend, listed as EA, and her boyfriend, listed as HJ, came over and met Dylan and Bethany at the bottom floor. The two roommates and HJ made their way to the second floor, where HJ went to the kitchen to grab a sharp object. Then Dylan and Bethany saw Xana lying on the floor. Dylan testified to the grand jury that she saw Xana that time for a, quote, split second and just started bawling because thought she had just don't even know, thought maybe she was still just drunk and all asleep on the floor, end quote. That's when HJ told the girls to get out of the house and they went outside. When HJ emerged soon after, he was pale and white and mentioned something about someone being unconscious. He told the girls to call 911. Now, Bryan Kohberger's defense asked the judge to ban jurors from seeing the text and messages and the 911 call during his upcoming trial, but the judge declined. The defense team was trying to say all these things were hearsay. The defense also tried to get the ultimate punishment out of the realm of possibilities for Bryan Kohberger because of his recent autism diagnosis, but the judge declined. That's all for now, and I will see you next time on Bed Crime Story.